Hello, this is Mrs. Taylor, and I'm going to show you how to use the quadratic formula to solve a quadratic equation. And so in this example, our answer is going to be rational, which means we won't have a square root or an I in our final answer. So the quadratic formula is x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And we are using a, b, and c from the standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So please note that no matter what, your equation must equal 0 before you can use this formula. So what we want to do, first identify a, b, and c. A will be 6, b will be 4, c will be -2, and then we plug those into the formula. So opposite of b, that means -1 times b, so it just means change the sign of b, plus or minus the square root of b squared. And anytime you use substitution, use parentheses, especially with the b squared, because if the b value is negative, those parentheses are incredibly important. Minus 4a, which was 6, c, which was -2, all over 2a, which was 6. And so what we want to provide in class is simplified exact answers. So we don't want to plug this in our calculator and get a decimal and round the answer. And so we're going to simplify this step by step. And so we're going to start with the radical. What's inside of the radical is called the radicand, and we're going to simplify that first. And I can do this by hand. I could square 4 and get 16, and then 4 times 6 would be 24, times -2 is -48, minus -48 would be plus 48, so I do 16 plus 48 in my head. The other option is to, of course, put it in your calculator. And if you aren't confident doing these in your head, then I suggest putting it in your calculator. So exactly how you have it written out, parentheses and all. So that would be 4 squared minus 4 times 6 times -2. And that is 64. So I replace the radicand with 64, which is what it's equal to. And then I can also multiply the 2 times 6 in the denominator, which would be 12. My next step is to take the square root if I can. If I can't, then I simplify it. But the square root of 64 is a perfect square. It's 8. So I can go ahead and write in 8. So whenever I have a perfect square there, I have to remember that part of simplifying is breaking this apart into 2 cases, when I'm adding 8 and when I'm subtracting 8. So I'll have -4 plus 8 over 12 and -4 minus 8 over 12. And then -4 plus 8 is 4. So that would be 4 over 12. -4 minus 8 is -12. And then simplifying those, I would get 1/3 and -1. So that would be my solutions to this quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. And so that would be an example of a rational answer. I don't have any radicals, I don't have any i's in my answer.